Hi there and welcome back to Lightroom training. Now what we're going to do is have a look at importing photographs into your Lightroom library. When we go to import, there's a couple of different places we can go. We can either click here on import and it will bring up the import dialog box, or we can also go up to File, Import, Photos and Video is another spot that will bring that up for you. Now, it looks fairly simple to start with. It's a matter of going and finding where your photographs are first. Now, as I said in the last video, I like to keep all of my catalogs and files all in a single folder. So I've just gone to this Lightroom training folder, which is where I've got a whole heap of files in here that I'm going to use to demonstrate how to use Lightroom. And I could just go straight to import and that would bring them in. But what I wanted to show you today was how to actually add some metadata to your photographs as you import them. Now, once you import metadata on a photograph, it actually stays with the photograph even when you export them out as JPEGs and that sort of thing. So I've set up here a Melissa Newman photographer template, and what that does is it actually puts some information in to the images. Now I'm just going to go to the edit preset because I want to show you what's actually in that particular preset. So when we open that preset up, you can see the copy name under basic info is copyright 2017 Melissa Newman. And if I come down a little bit further, whoops, I went a bit too far there, you'll also know that the IPTC copyright has information in it, as does the creator have information in it. Now, all this information that's in these photographs becomes attached to your images. So when you export them out of Lightroom, this information goes with them. So if somebody is to find a photograph of yours online on your website, for instance, and then they copy it off, all this information is sitting in the metadata for that file. The only time that it doesn't sit with it is if you're uploading it into a environment that actually strips all the metadata out of it, and we'll talk about that in another video down the track. But this is a really good way to start off, just making sure that you're protecting yourself and your copyright of your photographs and making sure that everything is as it should be. You can see with the copyright status here too, you can actually have public domain if you want people to use it and it's not a problem. But if you want to make sure that you're copywriting your images, this is where you do it. Then you click on Done, and you can see now the metadata is there. You can also have apply settings to there as well, and you can also type keywords in here if you want to. So there's all sorts of little things in here that we can do as well. Now, I also like to build smart previews. And you can see here what sort of previews you can build. I like to just build the standard ones, and that will mean that I'm not waiting quite so long for my previews to come up in Lightroom. It's just a way to speed the system up. It takes a little bit longer when you're importing all the files in, but it stops you from having problems down the track when you want to view things. And then as soon as I've got everything in there, I can simply go. Now, before I click on import, I just wanted to also show you there is an import set preset down here, and I can actually save my current settings as a new preset as well. So anytime I've got all this set up as I want it, I can go and do this down the bottom here and change it from none to one of the and actually give it a preset name. So let's just give this a preset name, and there we go, and we can create that. So down the bottom here, you can now see that that's there. So I can now click on import, and that will now import all of those files into the library for me, and we'll have a look at this, how that looks now. Now you can see that at any time I want to, I can actually make a change in the size of these side panels simply by clicking and holding the click button down while I drag it across, and then it gives me more space. Now you can see in the center here, this is our grid view at the moment, and I said in my last video that I actually prefer the loop view because down the bottom here we've got like we used to have with negative strips. We've actually got all the images there, so we can go through and see what images we've got there. And I've got quite some different ones here. I've got some animals, some architectural, and some portraiture shots. So we've got quite a different group of images down there to be able to experiment on. So here's our navigator window. We can fit that image in there, we can fill it to the entire edge, we can take it to the one-to-one aspect, and we can also put the mouse over the image, click and hold and drag that image around as well. We can also have a 3-to-1 as well if we want to come in even closer and have a look at the detail of that particular image. We can have a look now at the fact that here is our catalogue, and you can see how many photographs are coming in. You can see that this is the folder that it's now sitting from the C drive. So there's the folder that it's actually coming in from. And at this point we have no collections, so there's nothing extra in there at this point. Now we're going to look at histograms as well, and you can see here is the histogram itself. All these ups and down lines here, this is actually a bar chart, so it's showing us the tones and colours in this particular image. And you can see up this end at this point it's very, very empty, but we've got a lot of information down here. Now this image is a little bit dark, and that's what this histogram is actually showing me. If I click on one of the images that's not so dark, you'll notice that this here, the exposure is better, and it's showing us a better spread across that entire histogram. But again, we'll go through that again in another video at another time. Now with all that said and done, that's how easy it is to import your photographs into Lightroom. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can go through and make some selections and choose which photographs you might want to edit. This selection process is one of the things that can take photographers a long period of time. So we're going to show you really easily and quickly how you can go through and do a quick edit first, and then start to decide what you're going to do with your images. So we'll see you in the next video.